Merry Christmas, or depending when you're listening to this, Merry Christmas, or indeed, if you don't celebrate Christmas and a different greeting is appropriate, please substitute in that greeting. But it is Christmas Day as you are watching this, I hope, and it turns out I have a weird habit of just listing the top 5 ice Pokemon on Christmas, which I'm pretty sure I've done 2 years in a row now. I'm not doing that again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not doing that again. I did it Christmas 2019. I did it Christmas 2020 without realizing I'd done it Christmas 2019. So this year we're mixing things up and we are doing the Pokemon TCG Awards 2021. Looking at the best cards and stuff that were released, well, in this calendar year. Now, we are sticking to 2021, and there are a few sets that were released this year. So in this year, we said hello to Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, and Fusion Strike. They were the main sets that we saw coming in this year. But we did also see a couple of special sets coming in. We had Shining Fates at the beginning of the year, and then we had Celebrations towards the tail end of the year. So that is essentially what we're looking at here when we're trying to figure out the best cards, etc. And hopefully this can keep you company for a little bit of time on Christmas to, I don't know, entertain, make you think about Pokemon, whatever, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, whatever. We've got a whole bunch of categories, so let's start off really negative with 3 bad awards. Starting off with the worst card that was revealed this year, and had a good look here, and I settled on the Luxray from Fusion Strike. Frankly, there are very few cards that are out and out pure unplayable garbage. Most of the time I can find something nice to say about them, but this Luxray is just plain garbage. Now it does have free retreat, that is a highlight of the card, but what we've got here is a stage 2, so you got to spend a bunch of time and effort getting it into play, and there's like nothing good about it. Oh, 2 energy, 90 damage, it's not much damage, there's no extra effect, it doesn't have a single energy attack, and it's a stage 2, yeah, I feel pretty good about that one. And as we look at the worst Pokemon V of the year, I believe we have to stay in Fusion Strike, and we have to look at Rillaboom V. And it's not really Rillaboom's fault. This was a promo over in Japan, but free energy, 60 damage, heal 30 is way too much energy for that. And healing 30 really is not very much. 4 energy, 160? Congratulations, you're not even getting a one-hit KO on weak support Pokemon like Crobat and Kricketune. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, what's the point? Sorry. Now, in terms of worst VMAX, this one was a little bit more difficult, but I realised that I ranked all of the VMAX the other day. Took me ages, but I finally did it. I ranked every single VMAX, not including Fusion Strike, that wasn't really out at the time. And it turns out the lowest ranked one that came out this year was Metagross, so I'm going to stick with Metagross as the worst VMAX of the year. It's fine as far as it goes. Search for 2 cards is good, but not on an evolved Pokemon that's then going to sit in the active and take a hit and maybe give up free prizes. And sure, Max Rush can do 250 damage for 2 energy, but if your opponent moves you out of the active at any point, it all goes wrong. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's way too unreliable. It's not going to work. I would like it to work. That would make me very happy. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't it. This is not it. But moving over into more positive things, the most valuable card that was released this year is the alternate art Umbreon that came around in Evolving Skies. This is generally somewhere around a $175 card. That is not a strict value you should all stick to religiously. We've seen some other ones. I mean, in Evolving Skies, there was Rayquaza, which has proven to be pretty gosh darn high. For a while, it looked like the Charizard from Shining Fates might end up taking this crown, but honestly, that's fallen off to the point where you can fairly easily pick that up for less than $100. That did not last like we thought it might. We could look at stuff like Special Delivery Bidoof, which was a promo card given out at the Pokemon Center in North America, which is somewhere around the same level as Umbreon, but with it being a promo which was only available in North America, it didn't seem right with it not coming in a set. So Umbreon seems like the correct answer. Now, best stadium here is Path to the Peak. This one I did not find particularly difficult. It is a stadium that turns off abilities of Pokemon with rule boxes. It already sees a huge amount of play. You should expect it to continue to see a huge amount of play. It's incredibly disruptive, it messes with decks, and generally speaking, this is either going to be a card you really don't want to hit the field, or you're going to be considering playing it. Best supporter was one that I struggled with quite a lot, but I'm giving it to Cheryl. There was no real standout supporter that had to take it, and there were a few really good ones that I could happily have given it to, but I think Cheryl is the right answer here. It heals all damage from all of your evolution Pokemon at the cost of all the energy on them. But in a format with VMAX Pokemon that have huge HP, don't often get one-hit KO'd, but give up free prizes when they are KO'd, the opportunity to keep them on the board and not give up free prizes is too strong, and there are some decks that have really taken advantage of it. Best Pokemon Tool was another category that I struggled immensely with, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Elemental Badge. This one, there is an awful lot of argument. If you want to disagree with this one, that's fine. But I sat down on pkmncards.com, great website for researching this kind of stuff, and I looked at every tool released this year, and I like Elemental Badge the most. Because you attach it to a Pokemon V or VMAX with Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Flareon in its name, and you reduce the attack cost by 1. But it means that Jolteon's attack that does 100 to the active and 100 to a bench Pokemon with damage on, all of a sudden that's a single energy attack. It means that Vaporeon's attack, which does 200 damage if the active Pokemon's got any damage counters on, can actually just be done for a Rapid Strike energy, and that's kind of the difference here. I think there are other good tools that were released this year, but I don't think any of them are quite at the level of Elemental Badge, but this is one I think you can argue with. Unlike Best Item, I'm giving it to Level Ball, and in terms of items released this year, this is the best item. And I really don't think there's much of a counter-argument other than, oh, come on, Wassy, it's a reprint from a couple of years ago. And it is a reprint from a couple of years ago, you're absolutely right, but we haven't had it for a little while. It is now going to see a monumental amount of play from here until the end of time. There's plenty of others I could have given it to, but I think the amount of different decks that are going to play Level Ball really does make this number 1. Now, Best Uncommon, this is the only time in this video I'm going to give a joint award to the Flaffy and the Skiploom from Evolving Skies, because they're both really good, but they work in such different ways. Flaffy is there as energy acceleration for lightning decks, and it's got the amazing Okacheke artwork, but the problem we've got here is that it's too weak in this format. It keeps getting picked off the bench, and Flaffy decks aren't doing well enough, although there are some out there that are seeing a bit of success. Skiploom, you attach an energy to it, and then you cheat evolve into a Jumpluff, so you're cheating out that stage 2, and Jumpluff is a card that interests me greatly, so I think Best Uncommon is best shared between them. Best Common, however, I am giving to Morpeko from Fusion Strike, and this is one that I think a bunch of you may well disagree with, and I'm fine with that, I'll explain in a second, but I think Morpeko is deserving. You see, what we've got from Morpeko is a little Pokemon, but when you start playing around with stuff like Houndoom accelerating single strike energy, you can actually get to the stage where you are getting one-hit KOs on weak free prize Pokemon like Mew V Max. And it's a single prize basic Pokemon. This, a lot of people have started noticing this over the past month or so, that in single strike decks, this is a sneakily really, really good tech. And it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I like this very much. If you don't want to give it to Morpeko, you pretty much have to give it to Sobble, because, you know, Sobble gets all of your Pokemon out, gets your Rapid Strike Pokemon out nice and easily. But I'm not giving it to Sobble, I'm giving it to Morpeko. Now, in terms of best non-Pokemon V, the best single prize Pokemon, I split it into attacking and supporting, and in terms of attacking, I'm giving it to Malamar. This is a deck which has always been interesting, but it was the lovely Antoine Boulet at Japanese Nationals that really popularised this deck, and since then, and we're not talking about some powerhouse deck that is winning every tournament out there, but if you follow the online results, because we don't have many in-person tournaments at the moment, you will see that Malamar just keeps popping up in the top cut of these over and over again. It is a legitimate card with an awful lot of potential, and it's seeing play and success. But best supporting non-Pokemon V, it's Inteleon, and this is one of the easiest ones out there. I know Inteleon can attack, but it's not why people play it. Inteleon is played for the ability Quick Shooting that says once during your turn you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And to be perfectly honest with you, this is a card which is seeing a monumental amount of play in a monumental amount of different decks. There is a very, very strong argument that this is the best Pokemon card around right now. Although, spoiler alert, I'm not giving it Pokemon Card of the Year. But I do think this is a stunning card, and this was one of those categories for which there was really no good competition. Best Pokemon V, I'm giving to Genesect, and I adore Genesect. Genesect is one of those cards where, the second we saw it, just seemed too good. And there is an argument that Genesect is too good. Firstly, free energy 210 is quite nice, but then again, when you remember you've got stuff like Bronzong to move energy round and Metal Saucer to accelerate energy, it actually becomes even better. And of course, as a fusion Pokemon, you've got Elisa's Radiance as well, just in case the others weren't good enough. But then you've got that ridiculous ability which lets you draw until you've got as many cards in hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. But unlike pretty much every other Pokemon like this recently, Kricketune, Crobat, Dedenne, for some reason, it is once per turn, but it's only once per turn per Genesect. It's not limited to once overall like the others. So it is absolutely possible to have 4 Genesect in play, empty out your hand, and draw 24 cards, 6 per Genesect, 4 Genesect, 24. That is beyond ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely beyond ridiculous. And I'm assuming at this stage most of you have figured out that the best Pokemon VMAX is Mew. And Mew is a weird one, because on its own, Mew is potential. Mew is not good. Oh, 2 energy, 130 goes to any effects. It's fine, it's not great. The thing is, and it's got low HP, I should mention. But 2 energy, and you get to copy any attack from any benched Fusion Strike Pokemon. So you've got the decent attack on Genesect here, which is really rather nice. But then you've got the attack on Latias, which makes you immune to Pokemon V Max the following turn. Then, of course, you've got the draw engine of Genesect to support you and get rolling here, and you end up with a Pokemon Meloetta. Another good one we've got here to do decent damage for the amount of Fusion Strike energy you've got in play. And basically what we've got here is a Pokemon that could have been a little bit meh, but because you've got all of this extra support being quite as good as it is, you end up with one of the absolutely most ridiculous cards we've got in the game. And at this stage, I'm assuming most of you have also figured out that the best deck of the year is being given to Mew with Genesect. It is currently in the process of absolutely wrecking basically every online tournament. It is proving to be one of the most dominant decks we've seen in years. Although again, we're only in online tournaments. It's not the same as real life tournaments. Just hold back a tiny bit. We'll see what happens when we get back to big regionals. But as it stands at the moment, there is absolutely nothing to suggest that the combination of Mew and Genesect, with stuff like Latias and Meloetta and all of that, is anything other than the very best deck of the year. Now, in terms of the best expansion of 2021, that one's going to Evolving Skies. It's not going to Fusion Strike. Sure, we've got Mew and Genesect, and that's lovely. Fusion Strike was not the best set released this year. I feel very confident saying that it was Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies had everything. I mean, if you are a collector, now there is an argument there were too many good cards, but you had things like Rayquaza, like Umbreon, that are just absolutely nuts for collectors. But then, if you start looking through the good cards in the deck, Jolteon as a top deck came from this set. Leafeon as a top deck came from this set. Sylveon's proving pretty gosh darn good. Umbreon seeing a whole bunch of play. Duraludon is proving to be a very good deck, which is running around and having a whole bunch of fun. The fact of the matter is, yes, for collectors, Evolving Skies is nuts. Oh, Suicune is also one of the very best decks in the game right now. I should have mentioned that. It is ridiculous in terms of collecting and the cool cards in there, but it's also given us more of a competitive impact than any other set this year. This was another very easy category. Evolving Skies is the best set of the year. Which leaves just one simple question. What was the best Pokemon card released in 2021? Genesect. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know a bunch of people want it to be Mew, but my reasoning is this. Mew is good because of all the support that it's got. Without stuff like Genesect and Latias, Mew would be a significantly worse card. Genesect, because of its ability, will always be good. Even if the attack was absolute garbage, it's not. And even if it didn't have any support in terms of energy acceleration, and it's actually got a bunch, you would still have a ridiculous draw engine for any Fusion Strike deck. And I think Genesect without Mew is a whole bunch better than Mew without Genesect, and that's why I give the award to Genesect. Although, let's be clear, if you want to put Mew as the best card of the year, I'm not going to be angry with you, but I do think it is Genesect. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed your Christmas. I hope I have helped in at least a tiny bit of way to bring a tiny bit of cheer. Now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this list. Tell me which awards you disagree with. But don't tell me I'm wrong. Tell me what the awards should have been given to. And of course, tell me all about your Christmas in the comment section. I'd love to come back with like 1,000 comments just all about Christmas that I can read through and share in your joy. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.